Okay, so coming to sit with your straight spine. And when we come to sit, one of the things I've always said to my students is to really sit regally and gracefully. And the reason we use the word regally is because if we knew who we really were, if we really could see the essence of ourselves, you know, it's something to bow down to, and it is something that's very regal and very graceful. So it's about kind of tuning into that part of yourself, the essence of yourself, and knowing that in you. And that allows you just to come sitting really straight and full of gratitude for being here and being in this body and having all these experiences in life. Some appear to be good and some appear to be bad. They're all just part of a learning journey. Just with your eyes shut down, maybe even contemplating that for a moment. Perhaps thinking of some of the challenging experiences you might have had in life and what doors opened afterwards or what shifted and changed for you. And then turning the backs of the hands onto the thighs and the palms facing upwards. And we're just going to begin to draw energy up and down. So it's an inhaling as the hands come up. And as they come up, stretch right into the fingertips. Be very aware of your hands and any sensation in your hands. And all the way up and then drawing them down. So we're moving slowly. Using the energy of heaven and earth, or yin and yang, masculine and feminine, whatever words resonate with you, creating balance. So bring the eyes into it now. So as the hands come up, we're going to begin to roll the eyes upwards. All the way up, and as they come down, we gently close the eyes down. And the more you practice this, the more you become attuned to the energy moving. One more time, inhaling up, and as the hands come up this time, we bring them into Prana Mudra, above the head, or high prayer. And just press them together, just get that feeling of pressing them together, really acknowledging the balance that you're creating. And then slowly draw them down through the midline until they come to the sternum, the thumbs nestle into the sternum. It's quite interesting when we bring our hands together like this, we turn on our parasympathetic nervous system. So we immediately feel relaxed and balanced. And I always find that interesting in terms of prayer, that the hands are brought into this position, because it just kind of calms the heart, soothes the soul. So here we're just going to take a moment to set an intention. This can be just for this moment, for this day, for this week. And if there's anyone you'd like to bring to mind this morning as well, this is a perfect opportunity, because really much of our practice is like a movement in prayer. So it's often lovely just to remember people or bring to mind people who need extra love. And then you can take a deep breath in. Exhale out, gently drop your chin to your chest, open your eyes with your gaze downwards. and just relaxing the hands down. So we're going to begin today's class with some breath work, and this is all about balance again, this particular breath work, and it's called alternate nostril breathing. So we're breathing using both sides of the nose, but what we're really doing is moving energy up through the two channels in the spine all the way up to the mind. And as we breathe in, the energy starts to crisscross through our spine and all the way up into the left and right hemispheres of the brain. And it's really lovely breath to do. So you're going to start off by blocking off the right nostril with your thumb. And we're going to be breathing in through the left nostril, which is the moon side or the feminine side. So you're going to take a deep breath in through your left nostril. And then you're going to suspend that breath. You're just going to hold it just for a moment, maybe a count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And then using your index finger, you're going to block off your left nostril. And you're going to breathe out through your right nostril. And you're going to breathe in through your right nostril. Pause at the top of the breath. 1, 2, 3. Block your right nostril and breathe out through your left. And you're literally going to continue like this. In through the left. Pause. Block the left and out through the right. I won't keep talking. I'll just let you continue in your own time. When you're ready, gently relax your hand down and just continue breathing in and out through both nostrils now, all the way down into the belly. So when we breathe in through the left, it's the feminine. And it's calming and soothing. And it's a gentle energy that we're moving. When we breathe in through the right nostril, it's invigorating and powerful, and it's sun energy and masculine energy. And when we do both, we've got balance, but you can also use them individually. So if you need to calm down or slow down, you can breathe in through the left nostril, just blocking the right. And if you need enlivened and extra energy, you can breathe in through the right, just blocking off the left. For now, just regular breathing down into the belly through both nostrils. And then when you're ready, you can just gently open your eyes. Let go of any conscious belly breathing and take a stretch of your legs. Stretching into the foot soles. Pulling the toes back towards you and then pointing the toes down to the floor. Pulling them back again and then scrunching up the toes and then opening them wide. And there's always a reminder at this time to go barefoot as much as possible. If the weather is a little bit warmer and we have opportunities to be barefoot, it's a really wonderful way of grounding. So we're coming back into our seated position. Hands around the knees, or just gently turning the head from side to side. We're working with the throat and the neck. It's always nice to contemplate your word and your expression, how you express yourself, and do you feel free in your expression and your openness? Do you feel safe to be honest? And how can I develop full and honest expression if it's not available to you right now, or you feel it's not available? Thinking about how can you bring more of that into your life. And coming to center, take a deep breath in. Exhale, take your right ear to your right shoulder. Inhale to the center, take your left ear to your left shoulder. And inhale to the center. And exhale and relax. Moving on to the shoulders now. This morning we'll do alternate shoulder shrugs. So we're going to inhale, take the right shoulder up. Keep the head in a neutral central position. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, left shoulder up. Exhale, drop it down. And just continuing like that. If it's available, breathe in and out through the nose. Good, and it's a full breath on each side. Inhale, both shoulders up. Suspend the breath. And then a powerful blow out as you drop the shoulders down. And then just once more, taking the head from side to side. And just noticing any feeling of openness now that may be there in the neck and the shoulders. And coming back to center. Okay, so the hands on the knees, and we're going to do some Sufi grinds and Sufi circles now, which I don't think we've done for a couple of weeks. So making sure that you're sitting nice and straight, and then very consciously grounding downwards. So you're deliberately pushing your pelvis down towards the earth. And I always say to imagine it's like a corkscrew going down into the earth, really pulling you downwards. At the same time, we want the upper body to be pulled upwards, and you imagine that the crown is being pulled up. So the chest is open, the heart is open. And we're going to make very tiny little circles to start with. You're just moving around in a little circle. When we start moving like this, all the lower digestive system starts to get a massage. And this allows us to release toxins, or at least helps us to release toxins. And gives the lower digestive system a helping hand. Remember, keep binding the pelvis downwards. Keep the upper body pulled upwards. So the spine is nice and straight. And now we can start to make the movement a little bit bigger. And even though you're maintaining this straight spine, just allow yourself a freedom. This is a very feminine movement, this circular movement. And if you just allow yourself to kind of soften a little bit into it. And as you come forward, you can feel that as you keep the heart lifted, you're still bowing down slightly, and there's this honoring of the earth and the world that we live in. You start to make your circles now bigger and bigger, listening to your body and your ability. We're not forcing anything, but we do want to feel this softness and this looseness. If you're comfortable, you can just close your eyes. If you feel dizzy, keep the eyes open. For some people, it's nice though to close the eyes. And then with this movement, if you're open to it, just saying to yourself, I am free to be me. Quietly to yourself, I am free to be me. Now we're going to wind in and make our circles smaller and smaller. And rather than coming to a standstill, I just want you to change direction. So just start to go the opposite way with the small circles first. Just remember tuning into that pelvis grinding downwards. This is a really great one for the liver and the spleen. And now we're going to start to make the circles bigger again. Sometimes it feels a little awkward in one direction and feels really okay in the other. A really important thing is never to judge your yoga practice and never compare your practice to anyone else's. This is your individual practice, it's your body where it's at, it's your body learning, opening, growing, surrendering sometimes. And now we're going to start to wind in again, and smaller and smaller. I'm going to take a deep breath into the center. And then suspend the breath and draw on the pelvic floor muscles, the buttocks, the navel. And this is where we consciously move energy up our spine as we hold the lock and hold the breath. Release the lock, release the breath, and sit really still. And now gently opening the eyes, taking a moment to stretch out the legs, give them a little bit of a rub. And then we're taking the choice whether to come kneeling and sitting on our heels, or if this is the preferred position, but if this isn't available, then sitting cross-legged once more. And then we're going to be taking the hands right up above the head, hugging into the ears. And you're going to point the index fingers upwards and fold the other fingers down, and the left thumb is crossed over the right. And you're really holding yourself beautifully straight. Now, in this position, we're going to begin to pump our navel. So what we're going to do is you're going to draw your belly button back towards your spine and then relax it. Back towards the spine and then relax it. And that's all you're going to do is just simply pull it in and out. So we've 72,000 nerve endings in this area. And what we're doing is really stimulating the tummy area and the solar plexus and awakening that energy. Just in and out. Now we can add a conscious breath. So you can inhale as you pull the tummy in and exhale as it comes out. Deep breath in. Now your root lock, draw on the pelvic floor muscles, the buttocks, navel, draw the energy. Imagine that you're bringing that energy all the way up into your fingertips. And then exhale and relax. Relax your shoulders. Relax the arms and remain still. Now staying in this kneeling position if you're okay in it, otherwise staying in your cross-legged position. Either way, you bring the hands onto the knees and you're imagining the super glue on your hands, they're not going to move. You're going to inhale as you pull your spine forward, tailbone is out behind, and then exhale as you concave. We're going to keep the head in a nice neutral position. All that's moving is the spine. With your eyes closed, you can bring your focus into the third eye space in between the eyebrows. And just gently awakening the spine. We're moving fairly slowly now. And you can begin to pick up the pace a little bit. If you find by getting faster you lose accuracy, then slow down again. I'm just going to turn to the side just so you can see this movement. And again, picking up the pace another little bit. As you come forward now, imagine that third eye space, the word I, and as you come back, I. And now once more, taking a deep breath into the center. And then your root locks are drawing on the pelvic floor muscles, the buttocks, the navel, and again, consciously moving energy up to the sun. And then relaxing and releasing and remaining still. If you need a stretch of your legs, take a stretch of your legs now. before returning once more to whichever position you're finding easiest. Okay, so we're going to return to this one. We're taking the hands above the head again, index fingers up. The other fingers are folded down, the left thumb is on top, and you're really hugging the ears. You want to get nice length here and a nice stretch in the sides of the body. And again, beginning to pump the navel, so drawing it back towards the spine and relaxing. Now here again, you can close the eyes and come back to your eye as you pull the tummy in and as the tummy relaxes. Deep breath in and root lock, stretch into the fingertips, reach up. And then exhale, relax the arms down, relax the lock, relax the breath, take a moment. And then again, stretching the legs out, giving them a massage. So any of the seated positions that you might be challenged in, you can practice them at home. And I've stopped and say to people, even a couple of times a day, or if you're watching a movie during the ads, to sit in a cross-legged pose, and then, you know, when the movie starts again, just come into your normal position. But it's just a really nice way of practicing opening the hips. Or if the kneeling position is really challenging for you, practicing with things under your butt. So you could start off with a cushion or 2 cushions or 3 cushions even, and then gradually you can reduce the amount of cushions you have as muscles start to loosen. And you may never be exactly as you'd like to be. We're all built very differently and we all came into this world differently. So we're going to come into a position now for frogs. So I introduced frogs, I think, to some of you last week. So the heels are off the floor and together. So you're up in the toes and the knees are open wide and the hands are in between. Your butt up into the air and the heels remain off the floor. So you come all the way up and your head comes in towards your knees. And then your exhale, you come all the way down, still keeping the heels off the floor, and you look straight ahead. So what I suggest to people is having something to gaze at while you're doing this. When you come back down, just gazing at the same thing. And this helps to prevent us getting dizzy in any way. So we're actually going to aim for 22 of these today, which might seem like a lot. The faster you do them, the easier they are. And if you don't make it to 22, that's fine. Just finish when you need to, and always finish with your bum up in the air and you come out of it nice and slowly into a standing position. Okay, so away we go. If you're choosing not to do these for any reason, you can just do squats. So by my count, I'm at 22, dropping the heels to the floor and coming up nice and slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Roll the shoulders back and give yourself a little shake out and a little time just to settle. Okay, so now we're going to stand with the feet hip distance apart. We're going to do a slight variation on 5 Tibetans this morning. So 5 Tibetan rites are all about working the different parts, different systems of the body. We're going to start off with balance this morning. But just for now, just standing feet a little bit more maybe than hip distance actually. Just really rooting down. Tuck your tailbone in slightly. Draw your navel back towards your spine. And it's not a real sucking into the belly, it's just kind of clipping it back. Roll the shoulders. Open the chest as the shoulders come down. Tuck the chin in slightly. Let's take a moment here. Close your eyes if you can, if you feel comfortable like that. And just allow the body to rock and sway. And what the body will do, it will naturally balance itself. So you might find yourself rocking backwards and forwards. Keep the feet grounded and rooted. Just allow the body to settle itself. You might even go sideways for some people. The important thing here is having the eyes closed and just letting the body do its thing. If you really feel unsafe with your eyes closed, just have your gaze downwards. Now we're going to do the very same thing but with the feet in together. So we're going to bring them right in close together so the feet are touching. Again, check your posture. Tailbone tucked in, belly clipped in. And then you're just going to take your left hand onto the womb space and the right hand on top or onto the lower belly. Relax the shoulders and then gently closing the eyes and just letting the body, again, it might rock and sway another little bit. It may not, some of you may feel very balanced now. And just trusting that you're not going to fall. And even just calling on your body to balance itself. Let the energy go exactly where it needs to and create balance. And then when you're ready, just gently opening your eyes, releasing your posture, and taking the feet a little bit apart again. So we're going to do a very traditional balance pose now, which you may have come across before, called tree pose. So we're going to bring the focus into the right leg and the right foot, and you imagine that there are roots coming out of that right foot going down into the earth. And this is, you're calling on this leg and this foot to really support you. I'm going to take the hands onto the hips. And then I suggest that again you find something to gaze at. So this is called a dristi in yoga, but it's just something to focus on. And neither have it too high or too low, sort of just at eye level, or slightly above or slightly below, but not too high or low. And then we have a few options here. So the most basic one is to take the left foot and adjust your instep is meeting your right ankle. We always have the knee turned out and we keep the hips aligned and facing forward. So this might be it for you this morning. You might be nice and balanced here and gazing forward. The next option is to take it a little bit higher onto the side of the calf. Now we never go onto the joint. So we're not bringing it up as far as the knee, just on the calf and maintaining that nice balance. And then the strongest one is to take it up onto the thigh. You have to lift it up. Gently in here, and again, gazing forward, keeping the hips aligned. Now, whichever one you're choosing this morning, and there's no competition here, not even with yourself. So just choose the one that you can remain balanced in. Whichever one you're in now, we're just going to take the hands off the hips. We're going to take them above the head. We're just going to hold your position. And then we want to come out of it nice and gracefully, so slowly bringing the hands down. Slowly lowering the leg down. And then taking a moment and giving a little shake out. So ego is a very interesting thing in yoga. And we're always wanting to be very honest in our practice. So sometimes our ego wants us to do the strongest, best version of something. And, you know, or sometimes our ego would have us be in competition with other people, or even setting up competition with ourselves. So it's just to be really mindful, what's my most honest position today? And, you know, can I try a stronger one, or should I stay with the other one? And that's always that game, not even a game, but that's always that questioning that we have to have with ourselves, because we only know what's true for us. Sometimes it's, can I go for it? Could I actually do the stronger one? And is my ego having me do the easy one? So it's all part of the yoga journey. So now what we're going to do is put all our focus into the left leg. Imagine there's roots growing out of the left foot. Finding your place to gaze, and then just bringing the right foot in towards the left ankle. We want to again get this opening, so we're encouraging the knee out towards the side. We want to keep the hips aligned. This might be it for you this morning, or you might like to take the foot to the calf. Now, what you will notice always is that one side of the body is generally easier to work with than the other, and that'll often tell you which side of the brain you tend to work with more than the other. So again, this is the second version of the calf, and the third one is up to the thigh. Keep your gaze. And once you feel steady in whichever position you're in, that's when we take the hands up above. Good. And then slowly and mindfully coming down. We always try to come out of this with as much ease and grace as we can. And then bringing the leg down and giving a little shake out. So that's your balance you've worked on today. So now we're going to come down to lying. We're going to work on the digestive system. There's options here. If anybody's minding their lower back, it's really important not to do that double leg raises. Or you can bring the hands in a triangle under the lower back here. Or you can work with bent knees, or you can work with one leg at a time. So they're all the options. But we're lying down, stretching into the foot soles to start. Reaching the fingers down towards the feet. And then we're just going to do 5 of these. So we're going to do double leg raises, taking the knees, or the legs, should I say, all the way up. Now again, please take one of the options if you're minding your lower back, or perhaps bending the knees, or doing one leg at a time. And we're using the tummy muscle, so we're not swinging the legs up and down. Just be really mindful that you're not swinging them. This is for the digestive system. And when you lift for the 5th time, you can just bend the knees, hug them into the chest, and rock gently from side to side. And then either rocking yourself up to a seated position, like so, or turning over onto your side to bring yourself up. I'm going to come to kneeling upright now. And we're going to work on the endocrine system, or the hormone system. We're reaching the hands back behind, and then reaching as far as you can, so you get a nice opening in the shoulders and in the chest. And then you're just going to gently lean back. And then you're going to exhale and you're going to bow forward, bringing the forehead down towards the floor. And inhale up and lean back. And exhale down. And 3 more in your own time. And take a breath in, exhale, and finish. Okay, so the next one I'm going to give 2 options, and we're working with the musculoskeletal system. So doing a little bit of weight bearing, but again, listen to your body and do the one that suits you. So we're stretching into the foot soles, we're sitting with the legs straight out and the hands are in by the hips, and the fingertips are facing forwards down towards the feet. And then on your inhale, you bring the soles of the feet to the floor and you lift the upper body up, the whole body up, should I say, and you gently tilt the head back. And then your exhale, you bring your bum all the way back between the hands and straighten the legs. That's option 1, that's the stronger version. The other version is to come lying on your back. Again, you're reaching down towards the feet, and you're just going to tilt the pelvis up towards the ceiling into your best version of this. We don't clench the butt, keep it nice and loose. And then you're just going to come up and down 5 times. So using whichever one of these suits you this morning, either the stronger one or the second one. Again, remembering no room for ego, just listening to your body, honoring your body. So 5 or whichever one suits you. When you come into your 5th one, hold. And then slowly coming down. And if you're doing the stronger version, just come into a forward bend. And if you're doing the other version, then hug your knees into your chest. So either way, just getting a nice plantar stretch. And then coming to relax. So if you're on your back, just mindfully bring yourself up again. And we're going to do our last movement. And our last one is for the cardiovascular system. What I'd like to do this morning is to pause in each position when we come into it for a count of 3. Again, I'm going to give 2 options here. So whichever one you're doing, I'm going to start off on all 4s. But the stronger option this morning is to come up into a downward facing dog. Adjust yourself, you'll be counting to 3, and then coming into an up dog and counting to 3. Okay, so that's the stronger version. The other version is to come from a downward dog, down onto your knees, hold for a count of 3, and then back up. Okay, so they're the 2 options, and we're going to do 5 and a count of 3, pausing in each position. So whichever one you're going for, you can begin. Holding 1, 2, 3. And then up dog, 1, 2, 3. Down dog, 1, 2, 3. Up dog, 1, 2, 3. And now continuing at your own pace, doing your own count. Really just stretching fully into these positions and enjoying them during that count of 3. And to finish, drop your knees to the floor. Bring your big toes together and take your bum all the way back to your heels. Open the knees wide apart and drop the head down. Just lowering all the way down. And just let out a sigh when you come into your child's pose. And sliding the hands in towards the knees, lift the upper body up and come lying on your back. And we just do our relaxation. The relaxation in yoga is known as Shavasana. And Shavasana means little depth. So first of all, it's about the integration of everything you've just done. So that's really important. But it's also about the dying of the old. So we've released and we've let go, and the whole idea is that you're becoming something new, or you're transforming during your yoga class. So when you wake up, that you're in a new place, in a new position, a new way of being. So coming to life with Shavasana. And the options for the hands are to have them out and away from the body, the palms facing upwards, and letting the thumbs gently curl in. But for some people, they like to rest their hands on their womb space or their lower belly. So you do whatever fits for you. Tuck your chin in slightly and lengthen your neck. Make a conscious connection between your spine and the floor. And either have the knees bent or the legs straight out with the feet falling out to the side. Whichever position you're in, the whole idea now is to surrender and let go. And allow yourself to be supported by the earth. For these next few minutes, you can use my voice as an ongoing source of deep relaxation. And just bring your awareness to parts of the body that I name, without judgment, just moving your awareness and your attention around your body. Noticing now the top of your head. Letting your scalp relax completely. Letting all the little muscles in your face relax. Letting your brow become smooth. Feeling your eyes closed just very gently. And all the little muscles around the sides of the eyes and relaxing. Feel your jaw soften, slacken and relax. Let your tongue come to rest behind your lower teeth. Perhaps just bring a very tiny, soft smile to the corners of your mouth. It's just barely lifting. Feel your throat relax, your chest, your shoulders and your shoulder blades relax. Your rib cage. Your belly is very soft now. And you might like to take time to notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest and your abdomen. Feel all the muscles in your buttocks relax. Feel your hips soften and open. And any tension that might be held in your pelvis just evaporate, disappear. As your thighs begin to relax, your knees, your shins and your calves, your ankles, the tops of your feet and the soles of your feet, your toes, move your attention into your fingertips now, into the palms of your hands, your forearms, your elbows relax, the tops of your arms, back into your shoulders, up to your head. And just imagine now a relaxing breeze going from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And this breeze just moves up and down your body. It causes you to feel very soothed, relaxed and calm. In fact, feeling more relaxed than you've felt for a very long time. And all you have to do to feel this relaxation is just breathe in and out, nothing else. Nothing to do and nowhere to be. And you've created this time and space just for you. And now trusting that we have got everything we needed. I'm just going to gently begin to move the head from side to side. So keeping the eyes closed and just moving the head from side to side. And then resting the head, and just become aware of the feeling of your body on your mat. Gently wriggle your fingers and wriggle your toes. And then pausing, and in your mind's eye seeing the room that you're lying in. Gently move your wrists and your ankles. And then stretch your whole body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes into the fingertips. Lengthen the body. And then exhale and relax. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock from side to side. And then finish up curling in a ball on the right side of the body. And as you lie here now, just committing to treating yourself with loving kindness, great compassion and great love, without judgment. Knowing that you're always doing your best. And if you notice that you're feeling off about any of your behaviors, you just choose again. That's all you have to do is choose again. And when you're ready, you can just gently come up into a seated position, sitting with your straight spine, legally and gracefully, as you were at the beginning of the class. And rub the hands together, the thumbs into the sternum. And I see you and I honor you. And thank you for joining me this morning. Namaste. And just to say, if there's ever a time where you have questions or anything after the class, please feel free to get in touch with me.